a message for the Yellow Collective. If you are new here, the Yellow Collective is one of the many collectives that I channel for. The Yellow Collective is generally a group of entrepreneurs, high achieving individuals, high performers, high athletes, celebrities, kind of large presences. These are people with a large life mission that usually require the support of others, but they don't often get it. Um, Yellow Collective is also very bright, very sunny. Solar plexus chakra may be helpful or motivational. Like you rely on the solar plexus chakra a lot to get the things done that you need to get done. So you're very drive oriented. So if any of that is resonating, then this is a message for you. This is specifically for someone who's changing in real time. This is someone who is letting go of a lot of the old ways of thinking they had, someone who's moving into new spaces, new places, new ways of being. This is someone who's been through many cycles, 7 or 8 cycles for most of you, very significant cycles. These are chapters of your life where you had the help of other people, but then they failed you in some way. So, what the cycle often looks like for you is you placing your trust in someone, you building something together, and then it falling completely apart or falling through. And this is often not to do with your own efforts, it is actually kind of to do with the efforts of other people. So I really do see here that you've been trying your best, but that this is a cycle that you keep falling into because it's meant for you. That sounds really harsh, but hear me out for the rest of the message. So the point of this cycle, the point of these messages, these signs and synchronicities that you've been getting is to get you to wake up to your own power. I know it's cliche. I know it's probably annoying for some of you to hear over and over again, as you might have been hearing. I know also a lot of you, especially like if there's athletes in this collective who have faced injuries or stalled out in their career or had to have a shift or sudden change in perspective, it feels very hopeless. It feels very difficult for you to do the things you once did, physically, mentally, emotionally, on all of those levels. So, what's really, sorry, my nose is really itchy. Not sure if that's like for the collective energy or what, because it wasn't itchy beforehand, but um, it might, I don't know if you guys have heard of this before, but sometimes when your nose is like itching a lot, either someone is talking about you, or another interpretation is that sometimes it's a very common tell when people are lying. They rub their nose, even if they don't mean to make a intentional lie. It's kind of an accidental, subconscious, like something the body does when it's rejecting a bit of what's being said. So I don't know. Maybe this is for someone who's hearing this, you're maybe rejecting the message, but you're also still listening to it. And you're kind of confused like, how does this apply to me? How does this fit into my life? I'm not this, and yet, like, I am this. I definitely see. I definitely see that there's like a lot of obstacles in your way. Sorry, I was pausing for a second. My window's open. I was distracted. Um, there's a lot of obstacles in your way. And when you're pushing the obstacles out of your way, it's like moving ice blocks. And so when you move the ice blocks, it feels like you're making progress. And yet there's like this trail left behind from you moving the ice block. And you feel like you're running out of time because as the ice block is moving, it's melting. And so the ground is all wet and it's leaving behind that trail of water, almost like trail of tears for some reason comes to mind, which I know it's like the Native American horrible thing that happened, but also maybe you have cried a lot, on this journey. So there's like literally mountains, and like paths, streaks of tears that have been left behind for you to process your grief, for you to process the heavy emotions that you have dealt with. But as you're moving this ice block, you're worried like, if I get to my destination, will there even be enough of this ice block left to still make something of it? Can I still carve something? 444 on my timer. Can I still carve something out of what remains of this ice block? And that's for you to decide, really, because no one is telling you what to do. No one is showing you the way to go. I see that you're at this weird period of your life where you're kind of going it alone right now, and it's really frustrating for you because you feel like there's great big opportunity that you're missing. You feel like there is something waiting for you and you're just missing the boat. You're just missing it. Even though you're looking really hard, you're missing it. And like you could just like throw your computer, you're just so frustrated. You could just like scream or shout sometimes because you're saying, I'm ready, I'm open, like pass me the ball. Um, but it's not a ball. It's just about you moving the needle, specifically, you moving the needle, moving forward, you proceeding forward into some different stage of your life right now. I think this is mostly really difficult for you because where you've come from required a lot of hard work, but hard work alone is not enough to get you to where you need to be. Um, Hard work and intuition are good together. Also, rest is good together with this. You need to let go of the old ways you were doing things, the old ways that you like believed in, the old patterns of recognition that you had. Sometimes you're really geared to look at something and think that you understand it, but you don't. The thing that you're missing about it is that it's not a previous pattern repeating. It's almost like if you're used to A plus B equals C, the moment you see A, you're like, oh no, maybe B is going to show up. And then if B shows up, you're like, well, now it's C. Do you know what I mean? But sometimes A plus B is not the end of the equation, is what I'm getting. Sometimes you need to wait for like a third factor, a cofactor, and then that's going to prove something different. So you're kind of used to adding together these sort of low level scenarios that equate to these very simple equations, very simple outcomes. Something really like engineering mindset too about this collective. Um, but you have to be aware that sometimes like you're closing the equation. It's like you're putting the brackets, the parentheses and stuff on before the equation is done being written. And so you're kind of forcing the equation to like extrude out this wrong fraction of an answer. And it's technically right for what you forced it to be, but it's only because you denied the full expression of the equation. Sorry, this is really abstract, but it's like there are circumstances in your life and you won't allow them to unfold naturally, like all the way. And as a result of that, you're like, oh, look at this pattern. This pattern keeps repeating. I can never break this pattern. And it's like you just never let the pattern develop enough to ever be something different. You just keep cutting it off right at the base, right? Like if you're trying to get a tree to grow or shrub to grow really tall, but you keep cutting it into position, you're like, oh, why does it never get taller? And it's like, well, because you keep prematurely ending its growth before it's ready. But there's this feeling of it being really like scraggly or scrawny when it grows out. And that almost like a beard on a face, you have to let it grow out a good bit before you can start judging what it's going to be. You can't just wait a week or two. It's going to take multiple weeks, maybe months, maybe years for some of these projects. And you have to really let them blossom and find fruition on their own timing. You're someone who's really had to force a lot of positions into place, a lot of people into place, and it's not working for you the same way it was anymore. I see that you have a lot of new agency, but the trouble is that your new agency won't save you. Um, People won't save you. Things won't save you. You don't need saving. You're kind of looking to be saved and you don't need saving. So there's this weird like apathy where there's something you're looking for. And you're like, this would save me, this would save me, this would help me. But like you're not finding it. And the reason it's not there is because you're not saved and because you're not like worthy of it. Excuse me. Um, it's just because like you don't need it. It's kind of like you want the cure for cancer, but you don't have cancer. But when you don't find the cure for cancer, you're like, oh my God, I have cancer. Like, I'm going to die now. I need to find the cure. They're like, you don't even need to do that. Like, your guides are saying, if you don't need to do that, you don't have cancer. Like, you don't, but you're acting like you do. So, you got to like find a way to find peace with this sort of in between state where you don't have things, you don't have a lot of things that you want to have, but you have all that you need to have. You just keep going forward, just keep pushing forward. um this confession, that's really interesting. I was not going to say that, but okay. So maybe you're having like a confession moment. Maybe you're having like a heart to heart with yourself finally. Um, but yeah, like this channeling here is very confused. What I was going to say, it feels very jumbled. Um, but if you're going to get something out of it, you would have gotten something out of this by now. You would be following along by now. If this isn't making sense for you, then it's not for you. It's a very weird, jumbled message, specifically because the person it's for is like weird and jumbled, or the people it's for is weird and jumbled right now. So, anyway, let's recap or let's go back. Let's see if there's anything else. Sunflowers may be significant at this time. I do see a lot of yellows, golds, greens, and browns. Um, Something very hopeful about this collective. It almost makes me want to cry, if that makes sense. It's like a couple steps removed, but it's like this big feeling of accomplishment. And like maybe you've reached some inner peace recently and it's made you hurt in a weird way because you're like, oh, what I sought was not happiness but peace. Because when you seek happiness, you're gonna find the happiness, but then you're gonna crash back down and be sad, and like it's this kind of yo-yo thing. And I think that recently you've been finding more peace. And what's hard about finding peace is that you realize you were looking for something that caused your own strife for a little while. So it's a weird feeling. It's like a good feeling, but it's a weird feeling, very neutral. I like, you know, sometimes bad things are going to happen, sometimes good things are going to happen, but it's all a matter of my perspective, how I take that in. It's kind of the feeling coming forward. Okay, that's all I'm getting for this collective. So I'm going to go ahead and end it there. Please go ahead and give this video a like if it was helpful for you. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more channelings like this. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.